Alright guys, Manchester City have just beaten Man United by 2 goals to 0 and basically just taught them a footballing lesson. United were absolutely poor again today, and it doesn't look like much is going to change anytime soon. And I'm not even entirely sure all of it is down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because they've got a few very talented players in Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, Cristiano Ronaldo, like many others, Mason Greenwood, Cavani too. But it's just like the midfield isn't good enough. McTominay and Fred, they're decent. I reckon, one of them alongside a very good defensive midfielder would work, and also Bruno Fernandes. But you just like both of them doesn't work, and the defence is absolutely shocking as it was today. The first goal for Man City came about 6 minutes in. Just good play from Man City down the left-hand side. However, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was making it far too easy for City to get past it. Same with Luke Shaw, on both sides, it was too easy. And however, what I will say about Solskjaer for this game is that why on earth was he playing a five at the back against a side that is playing without a striker? It just wasn't needed at all. And in the first half, it was too negative because City just had so much possession and United couldn't get it out of their own half. Hence why Cristiano Ronaldo and Mason Greenwood barely got a kick in the first half. And the goal it came from, I think it was a good David De Gea save, and then it went down the left-hand side, crossed in by João Cancelo, who, by the way, is absolutely on fire at the moment. Best left back in the league at the moment, and he isn't even a left back. So that says a lot, really. Brilliant cross, and Eric Bailly. It's poor from Bailly, to be honest. He's tried to properly strike it out of play when all it needed was a side foot, and he's completely missed it. It's come off his shin and it's flicked over De Gea. Nothing De Gea could do about it. The thing is, if you asked Eric Bailly to try and attempt that, he couldn't do it. It's no one really could. It's just too rash and too clumsy from Eric Bailly, and that's been a lot of the story of his United career, really. That and injuries. He's very, very similar to Mamadou Sakho in that he's so clumsy and so rash. It's just not good enough. And for the second goal, brilliant from João Cancelo again. Really a hard ball to defend for United. Maguire left it because he knew he had Luke Shaw behind him. Luke Shaw stupidly just isn't aware of what's on around him, and Bernardo Silva manages to sneak up behind him and get a touch on it with his studs. Puts it straight at De Gea. De Gea's got to do better, but to be fair to De Gea, he did a lot more good than bad for United today. He made some stunning saves, and without De Gea, if they'd had maybe Dean Henderson in goal, it could have been 4 or 5. Not saying Dean Henderson is bad, I'm just trying to say that De Gea was very good in the first half, except from that moment in stoppage time. But it's again, Bernardo Silva also on fire as well as Cancelo at the moment. He's one of those players who is technically brilliant, but also puts the work in as well. What I like about him is he likes to get into. He likes to scrap the ball with midfielders that might even be a lot bigger than him, and quite often he'll come out with the ball. And he's always getting in the right positions, like he did for the goal. And that made it 2-0 just before half time. And it just poor defending from United. Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me was the worst defender for United today. Absolutely useless. there was one moment in the first half where I can't remember who it was for Man City. I think it might have been De Bruyne or Gundogan. Foden's on the left-hand side, and there's a through ball waiting to happen. Wan-Bissaka, if he holds his line and stays in line with the rest of the United defence, that ball's going to be struggled to be played. But instead, Wan-Bissaka steps forward for some reason. Foden's behind him, but he's in line with Lindelof, Maguire, and Bailly. And Foden's just got like about good 20 yards of space to run into and try and get a shot off or put a cross in. It's just poor from Wan-Bissaka, and that wasn't the only time it happened in the game. In the second half, there were many times where usually Foden on the left-hand side is given far too much space. And like the gap in the second half when United were playing a back four between Wan-Bissaka and who was it on the right side, centre-back, Lindelof. The gap between them is far too big and like too easy for Foden to create space. And also Cancelo gets forward with him as well. Just too easy for Man City. Wan-Bissaka was really poor. And I think we have got to question Man United's spending on defenders, because that back five they started today cost 220 million. That's £44 million per player. Whereas if I know City, it took a long time for them to get a really solid defence, and they had to spend loads of money to get that. Like, there's been so many big money flops for Man City, Eliakim Mangala being one of them. There's been loads. Who else would go in that category? I guess Nicholas Otamendi wasn't great for them. John Stones, he's come good over the past couple of years, but you wouldn't say in the first 2 or 3. Okay, maybe it's a bit harsh to call John Stones a flop, but you get what I'm saying. Like Benjamin Mendy too, Danilo. There's been quite a few. And for Man United, City's defence when they did spend big has never been as bad as United's is at the moment, is the point I'm trying to make. What else have I got? And in the second half, City it was game over, so City just tried to keep as much possession as possible. Although for the first 15 minutes of the half, United had a bit more of the ball, but they didn't do anything with it. It was like Aston Villa yesterday, poor defensively in the first half, didn't do much in attack. Second half, got a bit of possession to start with. It did nothing really with it in terms of creating chances, and died off as the half went on. I read a statistic after the game that Man United had more shots on their own goal than on Man City's goal. They only had one shot on Ederson's goal today, and they obviously Eric Bailly's own goal and Harry Maguire nearly turned a cross in, but David De Gea did well to save it. And I would like to stress that by his mistake, De Gea did have a very good game today. It could have been 4 or 5 without him. And also, Pep Guardiola didn't use any of his subs today, and it got me thinking about Raheem Sterling. He's no longer first choice at Man City, and I think he needs to leave for the good of his career. I think somewhere like Arsenal, where it's a team that I think Arsenal are now on the up. I think this phase of finishing 5th and Europa League places will eventually end, and I think Arsenal will push for Champions League this season. Because they're a good side at the moment. And the one thing they don't really have is a left winger, because they've got Saka on the right, Emile Smith-Rowe down the middle, a few central midfielders in Odegaard, Thomas Partey, Albert Sambli, Lokonga. But Aubameyang usually plays on the left at the minute, but with Lacazette leaving in the summer, Aubameyang's probably going to be moved to striker, and that leaves space on the left for someone like Sterling. Also, though, Sterling has also said that he might want to move abroad, play for, I don't know, Barcelona maybe in the future. So that could also be an option. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say. Just poor from Man United once again, and it doesn't look like changing anytime soon. And Man City just did what they had to do. They were very good today. I think once Man City go a goal up, it's very hard to come back from that if you're the opposition team. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.